Hey, how's it going? I got 10 original DSs on eBay for only like 80 bucks. You can see the listing right here. It's weird because when I click it, it goes to a different one, but the original one is on that thumbnail earlier. So it just came in the mail. I'm gonna open it up and let's see what happens. All right, so here's the first look at it. They actually packaged this really well. It's all bubble wrapped individually. You can tell that this is the right lot because it has the red one, which is half the reason I even bought the thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull some of these out and I'm gonna unwrap them all and I'll start it again then. All right, so I just got them all unwrapped. Here they are all together. You can see we have 4 of the just original silver and black ones. We got 2 of, I guess it's gold. We have 2 of the gold ones, 1 pink one black one, the red one, and then we have this tealish blue color. So I have this charger ready right here. I'm gonna start with the silver one since they have the most of them, and we'll just see what happens. All right, so starting out with this one, you can tell this one was used a lot because of the wear on it. It had stickers all over it and it's all yellowed and some of the paint scratched off. So far it has the orange light, which I'm pretty sure means it has a battery in it and it's charging. So I'm just gonna go ahead and straight away try to turn it on. All right, and it seems like this one works. It has some dead pixels on the screen. And these were also, I think I already said, but they were all from Japan. So they're gonna be in Japanese right now. So far this one seems to work fine. I'm gonna move on to the next one. All right, so here's the second one. This one's in much better condition actually. It doesn't seem very scratched up. You can usually tell if this isn't worn off, then it's in pretty good shape. Like for example, I'm pretty sure, yeah, that one's worn off clean. So this one's actually in really good shape. It also seems like it's charging, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. And just for the record, these are really common for hinge breaking, and both of these so far have been good. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one on. Okay. So this one also seems to turn on good, and it's got the same thing as the last one where it's got some dead pixels on both of the screens, which isn't really a big deal to me. This one's already set up, thankfully, so I don't have to go through all the Japanese setup. Yeah, so far we're 2 for 2, and this one holds a charge. That one did as well, just it turned off pretty quick. This one might have already been charged. I'm gonna start trying to turn them on before I even plug them in. So far we're 2 for 2. I'm gonna move on to the next silver one. All right, so I just pushed the power button on this one. I didn't even plug it in. It's green, which means this one's already charged. Neither screen has any wear on it. And this one might be one of the nicest of them all. I mean, just look at the condition of it. The lid has not really any scratches on it. The bottom, that's not even starting to peel. Yeah, this one honestly might be the best so far. And it's green, so this one actually has a good battery, good screens, and good condition. That's probably the best one so far. And I'm gonna try this one next. All right, so the inside of this one's covered in Mickey Mouse stickers. And it's dead, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug this one up and hopefully it turns on. All right, so connected to power, this one has the orange light, and just to look at the outside real quick, this one is pretty worn. It's got scratches all over from where the feet came off, and the lid isn't that much better. But let's go ahead and see if this one works too. All right, and it seems like we might have our first dead one. This one is not doing anything when I press the button. I'm gonna leave the ones that do this on the charge for a little bit longer, but for now I'm gonna move on to the other colors. And just to keep track, these 3 do all have good hinges, as well as that one. So far, all the hinges are good. Okay, and I was actually wrong. We have 5 of the original silver ones. This one was so worn down that I thought it was one of the gold ones, but it's not. So this is probably the most beat one of all of them. It has, the sticker's just gone. It's got a chip in the corner there. Okay, this one is the first one to also have hinge problems. As you can see, this one is fully loose on the left side. I'm going to see if it turns on, and as expected for one in this shape, it doesn't. And while I'm sitting here, I'm also noticing that the screen has like an orange tint to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this one in. I don't have very high hopes for it though. All right, so it does have the orange light. I'm gonna go ahead and try to power this one on. And as kind of expected, I think this one might be water damaged and it is not turning on, but it might have a battery that works, so that'll be helpful for later. All right, so moving on, I'm gonna do the one gold one in the lot. You can already tell that this one's gonna have a busted hinge just because of that chip right there. Overall though, aside from that, this one's in really good shape. Actually, no, it's not. It says this big chunk took out of it, but there's not really any scratches. I think this one might have just been dropped and everything happened all at once. Okay, yeah, that's completely gone. I'm gonna see if this one somehow works though, but even if it does, this is pretty useless. All right, so I plugged this one up and it's kind of flickering. I plugged it in and see what I mean? It's just flickering a little bit. I'm gonna see, okay. I have no idea what's going on with this one. I think it might have a loose charging port as well. I'm gonna get it while it's orange and try to turn it on. And as I expected, another one that doesn't turn on. So I'm gonna move on to the pink one next. All right, so here's our pink one. This one's actually in pretty good shape. It's not really peeling anywhere on the bottom, and it's just got some scratches on the lid, but compared to some other stuff that we've seen, this isn't bad at all. Let's go ahead and check out the inside of this one. We have a good hinge. Neither screen looks messed up. Let's see if it powers on, and this one actually does right away. So this one seems like it's good to go. Yeah, it's already set up as well. Full battery, no screen damage. It has this one scratch right here, but it's just a scratch, and these are from like 2004. So yeah, that's another working one to add to the pile. Next up, we're gonna do this black one. It's hard to tell the condition on these black ones because they kind of resist scratches, just the color in general. It does have a busted hinge, I can already tell. This one is pretty worn on the bottom. I'm assuming that this was used a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. Let's see how that hinge does. Okay, so it's actually usable like this. It is loose, but it's not terrible. No battery power. I'm gonna plug it in and see what happens. Okay, so I plugged it in, as you can see, and we don't even have the charging light, and there's also no power, so this one might be more of an issue than I thought originally. So that's another one to add to the dead pile. So I'm gonna save this red one for last. We're gonna go ahead and do the teal one. It's got a couple stickers on the lid and some residue and stuff, but overall this one actually seems like it's in pretty good shape. I think it's yellowed where the stickers were. It's not. Yeah, you can tell it's in good shape because that sticker right there. This one actually does have the stylus. I forgot to check on the styluses. I'll check them soon, but yeah, this one seems to be in pretty good shape. Let's see the inside. Okay, this one's definitely gonna need a cleaning, but I'll see if it turns on. And it doesn't immediately, so I'm gonna plug it in and see what happens. You can definitely tell that this was some kids because there's pencil marks all over it, but we have a orange charging light. Let's see what happens. All right, and it seems like the kid drew on the screen by the looks of it, because that's not scratch marks, that's actual marks. But yeah, we have another. This one turns on and it works. So this one might make a pretty good restoration project. I might make a separate video on that. The hinge is good on this one, and it might be one of the better condition out of all of them. All right, and last but definitely not least, here's the red one. Condition-wise, it's not the best, but it's better than most of them. It's got some scratches just on the ridge. The way these are shaped, it's kind of hard not to get that. You can tell this was used a lot because that sticker is just gone on the back. Inside, we don't really have too much damage. The hinge is good, thankfully. I'm gonna go ahead and just try to turn this one on. All right, and green light. This is probably the nicest one. We have no dead pixels, no yellowing, no backlight bleed, nothing. Let's check the volume. I didn't hear it when I turned it on. I forget where these are, and I have one of these. It's kind of sad. All right, I turned the volume up. I'm gonna restart this and see what happens. All right, so yeah, this one seems to also be fully working, which is awesome because I wanted this one. That's half the reason I bought the whole thing. Good shape. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. So as of now, without any further testing other than just plugging them in, 6 out of the 10 work. Actually, hang on. They may have shipped me an extra. There's 11 here. No, there's not. Yeah, there's. All right, so now that we have confirmed that 6 of them at least turn on, I'm gonna try to charge these 4, and I'm gonna leave them on the charge for about a minute each, just because it's a DS and they're pretty easy to get along with. If any of them work, I'll let you know. All right, so it's probably been a minute on this one. It's the one that's like completely beat, but it did have the light, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if this one works. This is the one I think is water damaged, but low hopes. Okay, we have a red light, and it's on. No dead pixels. That does have that orange tint to it, but I mean, this is working now. It has the left side busted, but it's not terrible. It still holds in place, kind of. Yeah, this one might actually be another good one. Touchscreen seems to work as well. Yeah, we might have 7 working ones. We do have 7 working ones. Let's see if the battery holds. No, it doesn't, but we could let it charge and it might. Definitely needs clean though. All right, so it's time to test this one. This is the one that has the good hinge, but it just didn't power on. It's got stickers all over it, but this one I do have more hope for, and if that one turned on, this will probably work. All right, red light. Okay, this one does have dead pixels top and bottom, and yeah, that screen is messed up. You can see it glitching around right there, and I think the bottom half of this LCD is messed up, unfortunately, because the touch is working. But yeah, it seems like that's gonna need a bottom screen replacement, and the top one has dead pixels either way. Maybe if this one doesn't work, we can use it for parts. Side note, just from that little bit of charging, this one holds a charge, so that's pretty cool. We got another battery. Okay, so I was just fiddling around with this charger on the black one, and it started charging. I don't know if it has like a weird charging port or something, but I just plugged it in 3 times, and the 3rd time the light stayed on. So we might have a chance with the black one as well. All right, moment of truth. I'm gonna try to turn it on. Okay. So this one still doesn't do anything. I might try it again later, but so far this one's a no-go. All right, so this is kind of crazy. I just pushed down on this, just picking it up, and it started shattering into pieces. Watch. I'm not gonna do it anymore because I don't want to destroy this thing, but that's really brittle. I guess these make sense why the hinges is broken on this one, because that's pretty bad. All right, I gotta admit, that's kind of sad. This one works completely fine and has no screen damage at all. I'm kind of sad about that. I wish this one didn't work. On a side note, we could use this as a screen donor for that, but it's still kind of sad to see something in this good of condition have a broken hinge and be in this state. But yeah, so far we have 9 out of 10 working now. Okay, so I figured while this is still charging and I just want to see if it turns on, while it sits there, I'm going to take some of the ones that are already fully charged and test these 2 games on them and see which ports work and what buttons don't. So we're starting out with this nice silver one. This is one of the ones that's in pretty good shape and came working. Okay, I do need to actually set this up first. All right, so I'm going to start out with the Game Boy slot. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it is reading the cartridge and should work. Something I'm noticing, this is on max volume right now and we're getting no sound. So that's the issue with this one, I guess, is that there's no sound, which kind of sucks because it's in such good shape. All right, so here we are in the game. So far, so good. I'm gonna go ahead and test all of the buttons. So the D-pad is all good to go. We already know the power switch is good. Start button, good. Let's test the B button, the A button. I'm not really sure how you would test it. Actually, yeah, I do. Okay, A button's good. And I'm not really sure how to test those, but I'm sure they're fine. And that one works too. So this is so far, fully working other than the speakers. All right, and I have the DS cartridge in there now. Let's see if it works. All right, and it looks like we're good to go. This one is fully working other than the speakers. Next up on the list, we have the pink one. I'm gonna go ahead and restart it. And let's see if the Game Boy slot works. All right, it's got a game in it. And we're good to go. There's that sound. I'm gonna test all the buttons as well. All right, so the speakers are working good. I'm gonna turn that off just in case of copyright. Let's test the D-pad out. That seems good. Select button, that's good. Start button, all good. A, good. And the B is good as well. And I'm not gonna be able to really test these on this game, but let's just assume that they're working if these are. So far so good. All right, so testing the DS slot now. Hopefully that works as well. Let's see. All right, and it reads it. Let's make sure. Yep, and we're good to go. This is a completely working DS. Next up, I'm kind of anxious about this one. We got the red one just because it's one of the 3 that was fully charged. Let's go ahead and power this off. I'm gonna slide the Game Boy in and we'll test that out. All right, speakers work, and it is not reading it. I'm gonna go ahead and reseat that because that's a common DS problem, and let's hope it works. All right, and after that reseat, we're good to go. I'm also confused now. This is playing on the bottom, but the gray one was playing on the top. Kind of weird. All right, speakers on this work good. Let's turn that off. D-pad, good to go. Start. Actually, yeah, it's good. A button, good. The B button is good as well, and we'll just assume that those are good again. So far so good. We'll test the DS slot, and this should be a fully working DS. All right, we got the cartridge in there. I think we're good. Maybe. Let's restart it. All right, and after a reseat on the game, it seems like we're good to go. Yep, we're all good. All right, so this one's fully working, thankfully. This is the one I bought it for. All right, I think that the time it took to test those 3, if this one's charged up enough, it should work. All right, we got a red light, actually. Yeah, here we go. Let's test the speakers. I heard it. Yeah, all right, so that means all 10 of these are fully working now. Well, at least they turn on. Pretty cool. All right, so here's the other pretty nice condition silver one. I'm gonna plug in the Pokemon game and let's see if the Game Boy cartridge works. Also test the speakers. All right, so those work. Game Boy reads, let's go ahead and start it. Yeah, this one's playing on the top too. What's with that? Maybe someone that knows DS is better than I do will understand that, but for some reason all of these, the silver ones specifically, are playing on the top screen instead of the bottom. Kind of weird. All right, so we're in the game. Let's test the D-pad out. Good to go. Start, good. A is good. B is good. and select is good. So far so good. We'll test the DS slot, and after that, this should be completely working. Just like that, it's red, and it should be loading into the game. Yep, there we go. This one's good to go, other than the screen's having dead pixels, but who cares. And this one also does hold a charge pretty good, so that's pretty cool. Next up for testing, we have the pretty worn and sticker bombed original DS. Obviously they are all original, but okay, so speakers work, that's good. This one has some dead pixels, not as bad as that other one, but they all have it. I'm gonna set this one up since it's not set up yet, and we'll hope that the Game Boy works. All right, so I got it all set up. Let's test this Game Boy slot. It's there, which means it should work. And again, it's on the top screen, I don't know why. All right, so here we are again. D-pad is working. Let's see, start, good, that's good, that's good, and select, all good. All right, let's test the DS slot, and we have another fully working one if that's true. All right, first try, it did not read it, but I'm gonna go ahead and reseat it a couple times and it should be good. As expected, there it is. I just reseated it twice real quick and should be good. All right, we're good to go. We have so far 5 out of 5 fully working, and none of these have busted hinges. Just 2 of them have dead screens with the pixels, I mean. And this one does seem to hold a charge. I'm gonna just assume that if they're holding a charge, they'll be good because it's a 2004 battery, most likely, unless somebody replaced it along the line, but I don't think anyone would have. All right, next up on the testing list, we have the teal one, the one that the kid ruined. So far, Game Boy's reading. There it is. I'll get into the game and we'll test all the stuff. Something I just noticed, this has a bunch of white spots, which means it probably has dead pixels right there, but it's not in line, so it's kind of weird, but I don't hate it. All right, so, oh wow, hang on. The volume's all the way down, and now it's all the way up. That needs some deoxit or something. Oh, no, now it's working. It's probably just been sitting for so long. All right, D-pad, good, start button, good, A and B, both good, and select. All right, so I'll go ahead and test the DS, and this should be another fully working. All right, pretty common, but again, it didn't read it first try. I'll go ahead and reseat it twice, and we'll test it. Okay, so maybe a bad sign. So far, it hasn't. I'm gonna check the pins inside of the charging port and see if any are bent, and if they're not, then I'm gonna keep reseating it and hope it works. All right, so I reseated it like 15 times, and there it is. So hopefully this works. It should. I bet this thing's just dirty. It's probably as dirty on the inside as it is on the outside. All right, so this one's good. We got 6 fully working, 3 with spots on the screen. And this one wasn't earlier, but now it is holding a charge, so 6 for 6 on the batteries as well. All right, so here we have the destroyed one. Well, not really destroyed, but just really worn with the broken hinge. Test out the Game Boy on it. This one with the tinted screen. Okay, this one also has the same thing as that one where it doesn't have any sound, so maybe that's a slightly common issue. I'm gonna set this one up and we'll test it again. Okay, I was wrong actually. It just didn't play a startup sound because you can hear the keyboard typing, so I guess this one is good on speakers. Okay, so we got it all set up, and I just turned it on right before I started filming. It made a really weird sound. I've never heard that before. I don't know what that's about, but kind of weird. All right, Game Boy slot's not working, and the game is in there. I'm gonna go ahead and reseat it and hope that works. So I blew some air into it, and it did actually read. I don't know what's up with the start sound, because it's not like it's, okay, this one's on the bottom. These are weird. It's not like it's the speakers that are messed up, because everything else sounds fine. It's just something weird with the start. All right, D-pad, all good. Start button, good. That's good, and that's good. And select. All right, I'm gonna test the DS game, and we'll have 7 out of 7. So far, no good. I did reseat it a couple times. I'm gonna keep reseating it, and hopefully it shows up, but it might not. It wouldn't surprise me the way this thing looks. All right, so I did the same thing as the last one where I reseated it like 15 times, and there it is, of course. These things never die. Oh, wow. That looks good. Yeah, so obviously we have some screen issues, but it works, which is kind of cool. So 7 for 7 on functionality. All right, so here's this one that has the weird screen. I actually have no idea if the Game Boy is reading. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it is. That's funny. It just came back. All right, nice. It's on the top screen, so it's actually usable. Hopefully this works. All right, D-pad. All good. Let me turn the volume off. So far, so good. All right, and yeah, everything seems to work on this one too, other than that bottom screen being broken, and we have, actually the hinge is fine, so it's just that bottom screen. Okay, and this one, you can kind of tell that the game is in there. This bottom screen is really bad, but yeah, the DS slot seems to work too. And that definitely needs a bottom screen. That's pretty bad. Next up, we got the black one here. So that's the Game Boy slot first. All right, I'm actually to set this one up too. All right, so something weird. This one has that same weird startup sound. I've never heard that before until now, so that's kind of weird. All right, Game Boy Red. I'll test all the buttons. All right, D-pad works. All right, let's test the DS game. Time to reseat it. All right, and there it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say that this one's good. I'm not gonna open the game every time. But yeah, we got 9 for 9 out of all of them working so far. All right, the last one to test here, we have the unfortunate condition gold one. It'll be good for parts though. All right, I'm gonna set this one up and get back to it. All right, and out of all these, 3 have the weird startup. I've just never heard that sound, so it's kind of weird to me. All right, Game Boy Red. There it is. I'll test the buttons. All right, D-pad's good. All good here. And yeah, this one seems to work fine. All right, this is actually sad that this one's in this bad of shape. I didn't have to reseat that once. It just worked just like that did. This is probably the nicest one out of all of them functionally, but it's just destroyed. So kind of sad, but actually it's kind of nice because all 10 of them work then. All right, guys, so here's the final results of the testing I just did. Every single DS is working fine, which is kind of crazy. Hang on. Okay, whatever. But yeah, it seems like all of them work functionally, which is sad because of that one. But yeah, $70 or $80 gets you 10 working DSs, which is really cool. If you guys want to see some more content on these specific DSs, let me know. I also have a bunch of other stuff Nintendo related to go through. So if you want to see anything else, let me know. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.